Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're reviewing the animated Doctor Strange movie titled The Sorcerer Supreme.
Yes, now this excellent movie was almost a one-to-one for the MCU version.
Yes.
As it follows nearly the exact same beats and story, showcasing the origins and rise of the reluctant hero, and one of my favorites, Doctor Strange.
Yes. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, include notification bell to get us some future podcasts and more past videos.
Yes. The MCU movie was long overdue, just like for Dr. Fate for DC. And didn't know much about Doctor Strange from the comics, but from the portrayal done in this animated movie as well as in the theatrical movie, I came to like this character. However, when we watched a DC documentary, we learned that this Doctor Strange that is portrayed in these movies is nothing like the comic book version. He was much darker, much harsher, more occultic. The guy who wrote it made up or possibly used, different spells, verbatim, and there was lots
things that exist.
Right, and there was lots of artwork done that was very exclusive to this particular character and unlike anything they've had. So that being said, this version is kind of a toned down version.
Yes.
But the thing that's really great is this is one of the last great animated MCU movies.
Yeah.
Because we watched others during that time that came in a box set and they weren't good.
Yeah, but and we had like 8 of them.
This one was the star. This was the fantastic. It is brilliantly done. And this is the first time we know of, if you know of another time, let us know in the comments below, that an animated movie is done practically one-to-one in a live action.
Yes.
Now this is how live action movies should be done for animated Western movies as well as anime movies.
Yes.
It's perfect. And we were surprised to see the writing and the action, the drama, and the mystery and everything of the MCU theatrical movie was here first. We were just like, whoa, this was really awesome. This is one of the best ones we've ever seen.
Yes. And really, the only differences in here were the ancient one because they wanted to change, thinking they would not get criticism for the character that already existed. And the antagonist looked a little different too. And that's really it. Everything else has been pretty much the same, and you get a little more of Strange's training of how he made the arts and how he had his hands healed and everything.
Now, if you've seen this movie, let us know in the comments below. If you haven't, what we'd like to let you know is if you find this movie, and again, we purchased it in a set, very cheap, at the dollar store.
Yes.
We got it for, I think, $3.
Yeah.
8 movies for $3.
Yes.
And it was a fantastic deal. But if you've never seen this version, even though you've seen the theatrical movie, it is worth paying the money to see this movie animated because again, it is so exemplary. You will be sitting there like you've never seen the theatrical movie and you will be just engrossed and you will not want to stop watching because it really is just that good.
Right. And even for the voice cast, they had some pretty big stars in there. And while of course they didn't sound like the MCU ones, they already had a type of sound they wanted to have in there, so they matched their characters. And for casting for live action, they seemed to match them one for one. They got people that look like the characters or added the makeup to make it look more like it, aside from changing one character entirely. They really stuck to that too. And the lore, the way he uses his powers, having the monsters. He fought way more monsters.
The sentient cape.
Right. And he fought way more monsters in the animated one than the live action. It was just about stopping these group of human sorcerers. In the animated movie, he has the sorcerers and he has monsters they're unleashing and trying to attack people to gain power. So that's the only little bit that's new to us, since the other one didn't have any beasts, and I think they're going to add that with the Multiverse of Madness. So they do eventually get to it. So it's actually been really interesting to see how it was before, and it's like you're seeing a live action remake now.
Yes, this had to be one of the easiest movies they've done for the what phase? Was phase 3?
Yeah, phase 3.
Phase 3 universe, because again, all the work had been done.
Right.
Whomever did the writing for this. And they just had to make a screenplay and adapt it. And again, they did it perfectly. This is how you do animated to live action. This is how you do live action adaptations. Every studio in the world can take a lesson from this movie. Even Marvel itself needs to take a lesson from this movie.
Right.
Even Disney itself needs to take a lesson from this movie.
Right. And another thing that was also in animated wasn't live action is that the push for him to find a cure in his research was that his sister had died.
Yes.
This was actually really different because this was never brought up in the movie. It was just his hands were injured. He couldn't use them anymore for his work. That's what drove him to find a cure for it because it messed up his life. And here it was the passing of his sister who was ill and he couldn't save her. And he's trying to make sure this doesn't happen to any other person.
And
so,
it weighed really heavily on her, and you saw...
And it impacted his whole life.
Right, and she was much younger. So that's what really made it a really... important to him as well.
Right. So that was really different to see because we didn't even know he had any siblings to put into the MCU. But I guess they decided it would be more interesting for personal reasons.
On him.
Right. So even for the animated
and Wanda.
For some reason, okay. And for the animated one, he's also a little colder in here too because of that. Like everything that's happening now with him when you're watching the movies, all because of the sister. Because of her passing, it's like he's become more cold-hearted. Yes, he doesn't want to see that happen to anyone else, but he became a lot less, he became a lot more cold with people and everything because of that. So that was also a huge difference.
But I think they translated that when he goes off alone to when she tells him you have to go and you have to undertake this and do that.
Yes.
I think they translated into that.
Yes.
And how we see that he's going to meet another version of himself like they did in the What If series.
Right.
I think that's translated into that as well. So
yes.
They kept it, but they use it in a different way, and it still comes across effectively.
Right.
So, if you've seen Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, 2001 animated movie, let us know in the comments below. If you haven't, again, it's one you should see. We don't know if it's available on Disney Plus or not. If it is, give it a watch and come back and say thank you and let us know what you think. And if you haven't, you can see if it's available on Amazon or at Walmart or Target. I doubt it.
Or Prime even, yes.
Yeah, I doubt very seriously you may be able to find this on a DVD.
Right.
But
And
if you do, it is absolutely worth the price to pay to see this movie alone. The other movies,
yeah, because that was gonna quickly throw in is that the Marvel animated movies are kind of like hit and miss. There are some that love like the Hulk movies or the Iron Man movie that was a standalone reimagining, and the others are kind of just duds. But it kind of depends on the person. I think that's why they quit making these animated movies after 8, because none of them were going anywhere and none of them did anything, and the MCU pretty much took its place of trying to establish a universe like that.
But again, this should be the holy grail for translating animated and anime movies into live action.
Yes.
So, let us know what you think. We can't wait to hear your thoughts.
Right, and if you haven't already, subscribe for updates, weekly videos on your favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
And thank you for subscribing and watching. Really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ask Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.